Welcome back to ARMEDFORAGER. Today we're going to take a second look at this Bodyguard 380. Now, this is not the 2.0 version, and there's a reason for that. I do think that the 2.0 has its place as far as a concealed carry. I've heard screaming reviews, people love that gun. There are two main reasons why I will not get that gun. Let me just start off by saying it's not a bad gun. One of the reasons is not because I don't like the gun or because it's a bad gun in any way. The first reason, just right off the top, is that the second version of the CSX is out. And from what I've heard, they have an enhanced trigger, so the CSX-E. That was my main thing. I did not want the CSX because of that trigger. I heard that it had a false reset, and I can't get down like that. I operate off of a reset. Now keep that in mind, because it may sound like I'm going to contradict myself with that statement later on in the video. But all things considered, that's one of the reasons. It's the CSX-E is not much more bigger than the Bodyguard 2.0. So the CSX-E, you're looking at the same size as like a Shield Plus. But opposed to the Shield Plus, the CSX-E, you're getting that hammer fired. Some would say that that's more reliable and more reliable of a firing system opposed to like a striker fired, I guess. But then again, Glock has had great success with that striker fire, like as far as reliability. But if you're into that, then the CSX-E has that over the Shield Plus, and it's got that flat kind of 1911 style trigger the CSX-E does. So there's one reason that I won't get that Bodyguard 2.0. Here's the other reason, and this is kind of the biggest one. This one is smaller, not by much, but when you look at it as far as dimensions go, and I'll put it right here for some of those dimensions, so y'all can really kind of see what I'm talking about. This thing is tiny. So this is like one of the smallest, like micro. I would classify this as a true micro. So there's, compacts, there's subcompacts, there's micro. I would say this is a true micro pistol. I don't necessarily advocate for these little clips here. And this one actually is in the frame. It just replaces the pin that's already there. It doesn't get in the way. It doesn't compromise any functionality, because it's hooked up to the frame. Now, if you're using this without a round in the chamber, and so you go ahead and argue about that in the comments. I'm not going to get into that right now. I will in a later video, and the statistics are there as far as safety, what type of holster you should use, whether or not you should have a trigger guard, yada 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 yada. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but go ahead and debate that if you want to. But okay, so this thing literally disappears. I wear rather tight fitting clothing when it comes to like t-shirts and that type of stuff, and so I want these things to absolutely disappear. Zero printing, and this one will do that for you. In comparison, I've owned the P365, the small version. I'm not talking XL or none of that, the P365. And I'll tell you what, with a holster, I carry appendix, or even with one of these clippy things, because the clippy thing actually hooks into the back and the back plate on a P365, which I do not suggest doing. That will absolutely compromise the reliability of a firearm. This one, not so much, don't get me wrong, this one's attached to the frame. But if it's on the back plate, don't even go that route. But even with that, to minimize any type of printing, it's still printed. And you may say I'm splitting hairs here, but I gotta tell you what, like when I put this inside the waistband, with either a trigger guard if I'm carrying in the chamber or not. If I'm not carrying in the chamber, then, there's no chance that this thing could, trigger pull and then shoot myself in the most vitalist of arteries, or the boys go bye-bye. But I'm telling you, this literally disappears, and I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it printing. I don't worry about anybody, scoping me out down there, which I shouldn't have to worry about anyway, because nobody's looking there. That's one less thing I have to be concerned about when I'm in public, or if I'm in an area where it may be concerning for people, if somebody's carrying a firearm, whatever. Psychologically, I don't have to worry about it. So there's another thing. I think the hard part for people to grasp in modernity, there's things circulating that you need at least 10 rounds. That bullet size needs to be at least 9 mil or bigger, and you need at least the capacity to drop a mag and reload and just quick draw on somebody before they can get you. Now, I get that, and I really appreciate and respect that. So don't think I'm, this is satire or anything like that. And I guess I would advocate for that as well. But at the same time, if you have a firearm and you want to go wherever you want to go, this literally is your everyday carry. This is the actual 365 carry. You're gonna put this on your person, and then you're not gonna worry about it. And guess what? You've got enough rounds to take care of business. And I'm telling you, the 380 cartridge is sufficient enough to stop a threat. So here's the other issue people may complain about, but I don't really care. I'll have my firearm on me and be ready to go if I need to. And others may not, or they may carry their Glock 19, Glock 17. They may carry appendix on the outside. I don't really care. So this is the one that I'm going to be carrying, and that's what matters to me. You do you. If you got your Glock 40 or whatever, and you're just banging it out in 10 mil, you don't care if you're printing, whatever. That's you, and I'm cool with that. So you do that. But here's the other thing that people will complain about. So this carries only six rounds, and if your thing is revolvers, I would suggest just get a revolver. If you're comfortable doing that, and that's the way you want to rock it, and you are just really into revolvers, and revolvers are what you've trained with and your go-to, then the revolver would be a good one for you. It's some of those snubbies, you get a bigger cartridge and more stopping power, and it's about the same size as something like this, and you get 5-6 rounds in a revolver. So that may be the option for you, but you don't get the option to drop your mag in a quick fashion and then have the potential to carry 10. So with the original Bodyguard 380, you do get a capacity of 10. Now, there is something about this I want to mention. When you do plug this in, it does have some pitfalls. So quite honestly, I would only use this for a range toy, this one, the 10 round, because again, when you try to plug this guy in, it stops right there. I guess you could really slam it in if you wanted to, but again, that may be a hard thing to manage when you got monkey brain and the whole scene has just gone wild. It will plug in if you press the release here, it plugs right in. The other thing that I want to mention about this is that you can put 10 in here, but it will slam into the slide and you won't be able to get it all the way in there. It will not lock. So this may be a good option, again, if you're used to it and you've been using it and trained with it, and you're really confident in being able to get that mag in a tight, incredibly stressful situation. But there's kind of an override option. If you expend those 6 rounds and your slide has locked back, then you can slam it in, and it will lock into place. The magazine will lock into place then, because it's not bumping into anything, and that 10th round, or the first round in the 10 round magazine, will go into chamber. So there's that. Would I suggest carrying this as an option for self-defense? Now, again, this is kind of a range toy. I wanted to see its functionality, so I bought it, and I was hoping that it would be something that would be reliable enough for me to carry, but I would not trust my life to this one. But again, you can get those factory mags. I've got 2 of them for 6 rounds, so that's 12 rounds. I'm good with that. If I need more than 10 rounds, honestly, if I need more than 3 rounds in a situation, like, what, they've got the drop on me. Like, what am I using this as a concealed carry in modernity and USA for? Well, this isn't for duty use. This is a concealed carry option. So I mean, this is sufficient. This will suffice. Now, if you're wondering about the ergonomics of this and how flat it is, how snappy it is, that type of thing, I do have another video for that. I'll leave it right here. And it was the original video a long time ago when I started this channel. And so you may find that of some benefit. If you are interested in that, go ahead and check that out. But this is the one I would be carrying over the new Bodyguard 2.0, over the Shield Plus, Although the Shield Plus, I carried that one for a long time. I really appreciate the Shield Plus. 45 ACP, that one is fantastic. I had some issues with the 9mm Shield Plus, and I'll leave that video here. 45 didn't steer me wrong. There was zero malfunction. But for me, it's either the CSX E, if that thing really operates as well as people are saying it does, which stay tuned for that because I'm gonna get that bad boy, or it's this one here. So let's fire a couple of rounds, and we'll use this 10-rounder. We'll see how well that does. So I'm gonna run this dry, and I don't know, I've heard in the comments people really hate that when they see videos of people running new firearms dry. So I've had a couple of these already. This is my second one. I sold the first one. That one was actually pretty cool. I should have kept that one, and so I regretted it, and then I got this one. The first one that I had, I put the safety delete plug in there, which those are real cheap, but I liked it so much, and I went through a plethora of just carry subcompact micro firearms that I was like, man, I really like that other one. So I went back to this one, and I have zero regrets, zero buyer's remorse. But I'm gonna run it dry for the first mag, and then I'll put some of this CLP, this Riptide. This stuff is awesome, so I'll lube it up with that. And if you get trauma from watching somebody fire their brand new firearm without any lube in it, maybe you should fast forward and go watch another video. All right, we'll try this 6-rounder first, then we'll try the 10-round, and then we'll get at it with the lube it up, and then get at it with another 6-rounder. I don't know if you can see that line on the ground, but that's about 10 yards, a little bit more, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Shoots pretty well. She's pretty flat, I would have to say. It does have this aggressive stippling. I think it's pretty aggressive. You can feel it on your hands, especially on a cold day like this. But I think it works pretty well. You just flatten out the irons just like any other iron sight. And I just want to show you real quick. This is what I was talking about with the mag. Like, it stops right there unless you hit the release there, and now it's in, and it doesn't bump into the slide here because the slide's open. All right, a few things with this mag. You do get a better grip and it feels better, but it was weird. I did experience some malfunctions with this, and I assume it was most likely a light primer stuck because I pulled the trigger again and it fired the round, which is cool because this is kind of a true-ish double action. You pull the trigger, it sends the hammer back, and then slams it forward. So it performs 2 actions. So as far as reliability, I really like that about this one, to where if something happens, you just pull the trigger again. Just kind of like a revolver would act, but you still get the same round, at least with this one. And it doesn't send the cylinder around in a circle. So that's what I like about these opposed to like I guess a striker fired. All right, I'm gonna lube it up a little bit, and we'll give it another 6 rounds. Again, I'm not necessarily aiming. I don't know if you saw that. Some of y'all are gonna, hate on me for that. I did miss a couple, whatever, I don't care. This isn't a video about how accurate I am. I will make a video on that soon, so that when I do get people hating in the comments, I can just be like, oh, look, I got, quarter-size group at 100 yards, or whatever. But I don't really care at this point. What I'm worried about is reliability, and if you've ever watched this channel for any extended period of time, that's what usually I'm concerned with. All right, gonna lube this up real quick. All right, yeah, baby. Got these main parts lubed up here. Real smooth. let's fire a few more rounds and call it a day. We'll see if there's any malfunctions, and we'll see if this little guy can get these 6 rounds out with any problems. Again, with that 10 rounder, not trusting my life to that. That one did cause some malfunctions. It was a quick fix. You just pull the trigger again. Again, this doesn't have a, so here's that portion I was talking about me contradicting myself as far as the reset goes. This does not have a reset. If you try to reset this and go off of a click, there's about 2 clicks before it actually resets, I guess. And so those in between, you will get a type of false reset if you're not used to double action only firearms. You will have to pull your finger off. So this does take some practice and training if you're used to like striker fired and having that reset if you ride the reset. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, 6 out of 6 ain't bad. I actually feel more comfortable with this one with the little pinky extension. It doesn't add a round, but it does give you that better grip, at least for me. So I'm 5 foot 9 inches and 195 pounds of just pure, unadulterated muscle. I've got those large, I guess, hands. If I were to wear a glove, it would be a large glove. Not medium or small or extra large, whatever. Probably right in the middle. I'm probably the most average size person on the planet. And I can get that on there and stabilize the firearm. And again, it's very snappy. So not something I really am concerned with. For reference, I'm using this ammo brand 90 grain jacketed hollow point. So these are defense rounds. And here's the ballistic data if you're interested.